I'm Bob Mooney.
And I'm Patricia Lico, and this is Spoke TV, your source for local and campus news produced by journalism broadcast students at Conestoga College.
Bus fare prices for students at Conestoga College are increasing once again. But does this mean added services for the students? Spoke TV's Nicole Picton lets us in on what's being done.
No car payments, no insurance costs, and no cringing at the gas pumps. But are Conestoga College students really saving money? After many attempts to try and get Conestoga students a Grand River Transit Universal Bus Pass, the Region of Waterloo staff denied the implementation. Councillor Jane Mitchell says it's strictly a financial issue.
It would cost $6.5 million to increase the bus routes to Conestoga, and that was the main reason.
GRT would be adding 12 new staff, 14 buses, and 14,000 new service hours. With the UPass, Conestoga students would be paying $90 per term, opposed to the $227 they pay now, while Wilfrid Laurier and University of Waterloo students only pay $67.50 per term for their UPass. President of Conestoga Students Incorporated, Kira Burns, says she's fighting for the students to get a fair price.
If you're not going to give service improvements, don't be taking our students' money to pay for other things that you need. Because if you're taking our students' money, they should be paying for the service to their schools. I know a lot of people think we're fighting for service improvements. We're not. We're just fighting for a fair price if you're not going to give us service improvements. If you want to, charge us that much. Along with council denying the UPass, GRT will be raising the current pass by $17 from $227 to $244. Burns says this isn't the first time they've raised the fee. Last year they increased it by $23. So it was $204 and it was increased to $227 for this current year. So that would equal a $40 increase in the past 2 years, and we've seen little to no improvements in the service. After students heard about the raise in bus fares, there were many posts on the CSI Facebook group about the issue. Students emailing in and coming in and talking, just saying, what are we doing about this? Something needs to be done. And the best thing I could think of was somehow showing a united voice. You know, a way to show that is like a petition, showing all of these people support this one common thing, and that's that they don't support the increase. Even though council denied the pass, Councillor Mitchell says she will be fighting against GRT to not raise the prices. I'm going to be asking, as I have before, when it comes up in April, that the amount doesn't increase this year for the student pass that the Conestoga students have. The CSI organization will not be selling the bus passes for this upcoming year. For Spoke TV, I'm Nicole Picton.
The region is experiencing an influx of homelessness, and in an economically advantaged city, people are wondering why. Reporter Sean Cassidy tries to find the answer.
Imagine yourself out of work, far behind on rent, and no food in your cupboards. For many, this is a reality that is spreading across the region into many homes. Young families forced to take what little they have and find a place their children can call home for a while. The Cambridge Shelter Corporation is one of those places. Jillian Aiello tells us what's been happening there.
Yeah, we are seeing a major increase in individuals and families year over year.
An increase of homeless in all demographics, including young families like the one shown here, a mother, a father, and a young child standing outside a shelter, their new home. The family wants to remain anonymous and refused an interview. However, hope and opportunity is available through various programs throughout the Tri-City.
We work with neighborhood associations, we work with the food bank. We all partner together to try and help people before you deal with issues before they become homeless.
Unfortunately, not everyone can be helped before it is too late. One of the largest growing demographics of homeless in our community is seniors.
Homeless seniors that we've seen here access our programs and services has gone up, has doubled every year over the last 4 years. So in 2009 we had 16, last year 2012 we had 98.
How is it seniors, especially those who have worked for a living, are becoming homeless?
Their issues are typically, they have a lot of barriers that keep them from maintaining their stable housing, mental health issues, could be some addiction there, possibly relationship breakdown, obviously with their families, if there even is family supporting them in the region.
With no families around to help out, what can be done?
No, there's no easy answer to creating to solving poverty. Prevention is always the best deterrent.
Are government prevention services working?
No matter which expert you ask, not one of them seemed to have a great answer as to why the homeless numbers are growing. That's why the Cambridge Shelter Corporation is holding banquets to help raise awareness. For Spoke TV, I'm Sean Cassidy.
Recent oil spills in Arkansas and Northern Ontario have not helped plans Canada has for selling oil in the United States and on the East Coast. Daryl Vandenberg talks to Enbridge about the Line 9 pipeline in Ontario.
Fuel is a major part of the Canadian economy, but the pipelines needed to carry it across the country and into the United States has caused a great deal of environmental controversy. With spills in the past and the possibility of future ones, groups like Stop the Tar Sands KW have been started to raise awareness. Paisley Kozarin, who helped start Stop the Tar Sands KW, wants big oil companies like Enbridge to be held accountable.
So the problem with diluted bitumen is that because it's mixed with a natural gas condensate, if it spills, especially in water, the bitumen will sink to the bottom of a river or any other water body, and the natural gas condensate will evaporate into the air and it poisons people.
The Line 9 pipeline that runs from Sarnia to Montreal goes under the Grand River on the edge of Cambridge and North Dumfries. The pipeline needs regular maintenance to ensure there's no leaks that would lead to a disaster.
Enbridge has already approved the reversal of Line 9 from Sarnia to Westover and still needs approval to reverse the section that goes to Montreal. John D. Gowdy, who has represented the Ontario Pipeline Landlords Association, says there's major concerns with old pipelines being abandoned and the out-of-date polyethylene tape used in most of Line 9.
The Line 6B in Michigan was installed, I think, in 1968, and it had polyethylene tape, and that was cited as the main problem with that led to the corrosion of the pipe and the rupture.
Enbridge will go ahead with using the polyethylene taped pipe. Senior Public Advisor for Enbridge, Ken Hall, explains how they're spending an increased $400 million this year for safety.
Since the incident which occurred in Marshall, Michigan, which was a serious spill incident, we have steadily increased our spending and our not only money but also expertise and people dedicated to pipeline integrity.
Hall said Enbridge will not be increasing pressure on Line 9 and has communicated with local fire departments for a disaster response plan and the Grand River Conservation Authority to monitor the Grand River. For Spoke TV, I'm Daryl Vandenberg.
Very few people consider where their garbage ends up when they put it out on the curb. The landfill in West Waterloo is needing to expand to support their growing population. Reporter Jackson Wagner looks at why people are causing a stink over the change.
We've all heard the phrase reduce, reuse, and recycle. But here at Waterloo Region's Waste Management Center, they believe the first two are the most important.
This attitude comes as a result of the Master Plan project that emphasizes conservation and reuse of landfill materials. Sue White, manager of waste collection at the facility, tells us about the program.
We just started it a few months ago. We're at very, very early process for the master plan. And it really is to look at what happens with our waste after the landfill is full.
With residential areas and local businesses growing, some now border the landfill. Sue discusses the methods used to control the odor.
Odor and litter are something that certainly does happen here. We have lots of things in place to try to minimize that. There is a liaison committee of sort of residents as well as whomever around this area is interested that can get together and talk about their concerns, and so that's a regular meeting that happens so that we can sort of hear what they're saying and try to address the issues.
With the Tri-City's size growing larger and larger and the population ever rising, the Ironitas landfill needs to expand and create new cells to support the large population. For Spoke TV, I'm Jackson Wagner.
Here at Conestoga, Aboriginal Services offers a wide variety of resources for our Native and Inuit students, like counseling and cultural activities. Reporter Patricia Lico tells us more.
Through aspects such as the Respect Campaign and even celebrating World Kindness Day, it has always been Conestoga's aim to make every student feel welcome and accepted.
Conestoga's Aboriginal Services helps the over 500 students at the school who are First Nations, Inuit, and Métis. Manager of Aboriginal Services, Mayan Gunn, says that many students who come to Conestoga
don't know much about their culture, and the Aboriginal Services is sometimes the first time they are exposed to their history.
Been in existence here in Canada for thousands of years. The medicine wheel is our basis for counseling. We look at the emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual side of counseling and helping people get better.
The program has been at Conestoga for 3 years and offers specialized counseling based on their culture, as well as raising awareness to the rest of the school.
For elders programs, we have lunch programs, and we take care of our students through traditional methods.
Ashley Nichols is the 2012 recipient for the Aboriginal Role Model Award and accredits much of her success to Conestoga's Aboriginal Services.
Throughout getting my education here and athletic achievements or sports, sometimes it gets a little stressful, right? So learning how to balance it out, and that is when I would use a counseling service like this.
The goal of the Aboriginal Services is to give a voice to Conestoga's Aboriginal students while breaking down barriers between their cultures and others. For Spoke TV, I'm Patricia Lico.